Let's get ourselves organized. I'm Deb. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I'm sure a fitness specific communication will come out soon to see. I know the club is opening next week to see what's happening. And I mean, I know the plan. I think the plan is to definitely have a mixed schedule, some virtual classes, some in person, but definitely in person because of the 50% capacity. There's going to be smaller numbers. And so I don't know what's happening in terms of are they trying to, how they're trying to sort that out. Maybe they're adding other classes. I have no idea. So, oh, the email came last night. Oh, okay. Okay. So you know more than I know. So I think I'm going to see you in person next week. Um, but maybe there will be a hybrid option. I don't know, just for people who either aren't comfortable or can't get into the class. So for today, let's enjoy an awesome workout. You don't need you were I have one exercise towards the end, a core exercise plan where you can use a towel or your scarf, or grab, like I just took off my long sleeve. It doesn't have to be a towel. But don't worry if you don't want to run and go grab something. Everything else we're going to use one or two dumbbells for the plan today. And happy end of January. Hmm, here we go. One of my friends told me she heard the February forecast is it will get warmer, although I don't see that right now. But storms, more storms. I'm like, oh my gosh, we have nowhere to put any more snow. We still haven't been plowed in my street, so we don't have room for more. So let's. I hope not that she was wrong. She's not the one who. I hope that that was wrong. Okay, just let me know if that's too loud. If you're struggling to hear me, I'll turn it down. Okay, just start moving your feet a little. Let's get our bodies warmed up and ready to go. Oh, because it is chilly out there today. Woo! Even my dog didn't last that long. Let's squat. I was prepared to go another block, and she kind of looked and like, okay, you want to go home? I'm okay. Let's go home. Two more, but here's what's coming next. Or reach across. So notice I'm doing my best to keep my weight still even into both legs as my upper body rotates. So getting our upper and lower body to do different things. Next time, open up on your diagonal. Press your knees out wide, getting pretty familiar, right, with our warm-up movements. Bum, bum, ba-dum. Next time we'll convert this into the lateral lunge. Even though February's still winter and often so cold, as the days are getting longer and it's a short month, I start to feel like, okay, the end is in sight. Winter's not going to last forever. Reach. Bum, ba-dum. And, oh, you know what starts to get us through February this year? The Olympics, a week today. Rotate. I'm just going to warn you, I love the Olympics. So I'm going to talk about the Olympics a lot while it's on. Good. Take your right leg back. Press your hips forward and reach. Switch sides. So you're pressing your hips forward and your fingertips reach towards the ceiling. Ooh, I just got a good crack right here in my sternum. How about this version? Alternate. Now keep pressing your hips forward. But then, when I do this little rotation, I get an even better stretch through my hip flexor. Good. Right leg crouches forward. Push off and switch. That small step where you catch yourself and push. Now we're going to add a balance component to this. We're not going to do it in the workout today, but still good to do it in the warm-up. Right leg forward, shift your weight. Lift your left leg, step back and switch. Sink, lift, switch. Let's do 4 more like that. Feel free to keep your toes on the floor if you just prefer that. A little balance assistance, especially as your body's still prepping. Now tap your heel, Sorry, I was about to do that too fast, like a cardio move. So toes come up, knee is bent, you're pressing your hips back. Now, big scoot. So I think, right, pretty close to the end of the 22-day virtual challenge. I think that someone in our class has been doing very well. Turn your right leg in and switch. Oh, this feels so good. So right at the base of your spine, not your tailbone, but the base of the spine where it connects with your pelvis, called your sacroiliac joint. This, for me, helps me open up those joints. And that's where I have the most of my back tightness. Okay, let's quickly go through our movements again. Squat, reach. 4 more, so upper body twist, legs, even weight. Next time, diagonal. Pressing your knees towards your pinky toes. Couple more. You ready for the lateral lunge with the reach? Toes forward. You know I love this movement. A lateral lunge gets your hips shifting, your inner thigh stretching. Now we add the rotation. Bum, 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 bum. Two more. Take your right leg back, reach overhead, press. If you want, switch it up to one arm at a time. Good. Now right leg crouches forward, push off, reach, switch legs. To put you first, just 2 more. Right heel forward, scoop and reach. Oh, I gotta prepare though. Life's about to get a lot busier again. Turn your right, and I'm not complaining. Get to go back to the hockey rink next week with my son. Actually, I don't know if we're gonna be allowed to watch, but at least I get to take him. Good. Okay, are you ready? No one told me that the music was too loud, so I'm gonna take that as a good. So first movement, 1 dumbbell. I'm gonna grab my 15-pound dumbbell. We're gonna squat, and you'll have the option to press overhead. Okay, so you could put your dumbbell in the goblet position if you want to be able to press overhead, or if you have 2, just bring them up here kind of close to your shoulder. So depending what weight you have. Legs, remember about hip distance or wider, right? If you got long legs compared to your torso, you probably need a wider stance than shoulder distance. Toes are turned out. Okay, let's practice some slow ones. Hips press back as your knees press out towards your pinky toes. I've got my warm tights on today. Pick up the pace. But I definitely wear my snow pants when I take my dog out in these polar vortex temperatures. Keep pressing. Draw your belly button in. So what do I mean by that? Imagine you just put on a pair of tight pants and you kind of have to suck everything in to get the button on. So you're sucking everything in. But that's a good thing. It means you're learning, right? It's just tight because you put them in the dryer. Sink, drive it up. Now you don't have to add this overhead press. Feel free to stay like this, okay? Or use your hips and your legs to powerfully push. Ugh. You might also notice that your breathing rate is accelerating and your heart rate is going up. I've got heat radiating through my body. How about 8 more? Oh. Come on, come on. 4 to go. Good. All righty. We're warm and ready. Whew. Oh, yeah. Okay. I got to remember all the, when I plan something new. So our feet, your feet about hip distance apart in a neutral position. Squeeze the end of your dumbbell, or you can have one on either side of you, okay? So we're going to move from our hips, knees a little bit bent, into a Romanian deadlift. So long spine from your head to your tailbone. I'm going to show you which one, because we're not going to stay in this singular plane, right? Just going forward, right? Like this, okay? So if you want, slide down your right leg, and now your left. Whew. My lazy dog was up on the couch upstairs. She didn't even want to come down and join me down here today. Now, how low you go is going to depend on your back. Okay, so typically, you kind of hover around your knee so that you can keep a very neutral spine instead of your low back rounding, right? That natural curve that's in your low back, you want to keep that there. Let's do a few more each way. So it's like a little mini single leg deadlift, or more of a hip shift. Good. One more, one more. Now you might keep the same weight, you might not. Let me show you the next move, and then I'm going to add 2 variations to it so you can customize it. It's a wood chop, so your left heel's going to lift as your leg rotates to drive your dumbbell up, like this. So we go side and side. So left heel's up, right heel's up, and I'm pushing through my hips. Okay, so your next choice, you can step in together. And any of these choices, right? It's not that one is better than the other, but one might be better for you, okay? So I want you to pick, you kind of try them on for size, and then find your favorite. Okay, so the last choice, if you want, drop into the center. So a squat, and then a powerful lift side to side. You could also do the squat without the step in, okay? With this awkward dumbbell, I just have to make sure that I don't ding myself in the knees. Are you starting to breathe hard again? Let's do 8 more in total. Drive it. Dumbbell as close to parallel to the wall as you can get it. So you've got a bit of rotation there. 4 more. Last one. Good. Okay. So now we're going to vary our squat. Because this dumbbell's so crazy, awkward size, I'm actually going to hold it in the center. But let me first show you what we're doing without the dumbbell. So a lateral squat this time. So we'll go side to side, just like we did in the warm-up, okay? So you're going to have your dumbbell here, or a dumbbell on each shoulder, but I'll show you how we're going to shift it. So I'll show you first this way, and then I'll put my dumbbell a different direction. So you can push it overhead and go side to side, okay? But I'm going to hold mine this way because it's awkward. You go from shoulder to shoulder, and then all of a sudden, oh, it feels so much heavier because you're offsetting the load. My core definitely feels the difference. But you play around with what works for you. You don't have to move your dumbbell, right? Ugh. Okay, my friends, let's do 8 more. Back to, I didn't really give you any cardio recovery after that wood chop move, going right into this. 2 more. Ooh, beautiful. So 2 dumbbells if you have them. If not, if you have a band, grab your band. We're going to do some chest press. You could also use a towel that you pull tight. if you don't have multiple dumbbells. So I'm going to lie down on the ground. Let me put this on a bit of an angle. One dumbbell in each hand. On your back. So line your dumbbells so that your wrists are not quite on top of your shoulders, a little lower down, and then make a bit of a V shape. Can you see that? So I've got a bit of a V shape. My elbow, instead of being right up here and lined up with my shoulders, down lower than my shoulder. Okay, so I'm intentionally getting you in that position so you can put the load in your chest in front of your shoulders instead of in your neck. Okay, now keep your head down, press your shoulder blades and your back ribs into your mat or the floor. You don't have to have your legs bent like me. You can have them straighten out, but I find it much easier to keep my pelvis in a good position when my legs are bent. Sorry, that was a lot of talking I just threw at you. Oh, speed this up. Drop. Bum, 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 bum. Let's do 8 more like this. We're not quite done. We're only doing 1 set of chest press, although I have planned some push-ups later, and you may notice, depending how fatigued you are from this, it's going to impact how you do your push-ups. Now, let's do one arm at a time. One arm, and then the other. If you have a lot of juice left in you, and you want to keep doing both arms, please feel free. This is where I'm at, so you pick and choose. We have 8 more in total, or if you're alternating with me, it's 4 on each side. 4 on each side. That's what I meant. 4 more in total. Ooh. Last one. Good. Now, use some momentum to rock and roll yourself up. Put your weights wherever you need to get up. Getting up and down on the ground, so important. The next movement, just one weight. Let me get that guy out of the way. This one, instead of momentum, we're actually going to resist momentum. So maybe put your feet a little bit wider for more stability. Micro bend or bend your knees a little bit. And we're going to push our weight up on a diagonal, then come back and go the other way. So notice how I'm keeping my hips and my shoulders forward towards you. So my body, of course, wants to twist, but I'm not going to let it, okay? Or I'm fighting it. Here, I'll tell you one benefit of the sidewalks that aren't, some are plowed well or shoveled well, some are not. So you're walking through all sorts of mixed terrain, right? When you're out on the sidewalks. So what it is, if you think about the benefit, stronger ankles, feet, your leg muscles trudging through the snow. So you're actually building strength in a much different way, right? Than when you walk on a nice, flat, even surface. So I always have to try to find the good in it, and then it doesn't irritate me as much. Ugh. Especially on garbage day, when we're trying to maneuver around all the bins. Okay, how about 8 more in total? It's very possible, right? So you could also make your movement smaller. That would be a great lifeline. How about 4 more? As many as you can, up to this max of 4 more. Diagonal. Ugh. Ba, ba, ba. Last one. Good. Okay, grab a sip of water if you need it. We have 1 more squat variation, and then we'll move into a couple of different lunge versions. So the diagonal squat we practiced in the warm-up, and I've done it with you before, but we're not going to add a bicep curl this time. Okay, let's practice a few slow ones because I have something else to show you, and then you can decide if you like it or not. Maybe you prefer to do the bicep curl. Okay, can we try that a bit faster? Squat. You'll see why in a moment, okay? Now it's okay, maybe you have, again, a dumbbell on each shoulder. Okay, are you looking at my feet? Watch what I do. I jump back in. So squat, jump in. It's a small jump. A little bit of impact helps us build stronger bones, stronger joints, but certainly not required today. Or maybe you want to get rid of the weight, right? Your weight, adding in this jump could be just perfect. Good. How about 8 more? Woo. Did you think you were going to get so much cardio in today? It's a bonus. 4 more. Last one, last one. Good. Okay. We're back to 2 dumbbells. Whew. Let me grab my other one here. So we already did the Romanian deadlift. The bent over row has a very similar start. Feet hip distance apart, knees a little bit bent. We're going to get in that same tipped position. Then we're going to pull and stand. So if you don't have 2 dumbbells, honestly, a band, pull it tight, or your towel, okay? That'll work. Are you ready? Here we go. Down, pull. So I want you to pretend my finger is right between your shoulder blades. I'm going to give you my back side so you can see how I pull my shoulder blades together. So the idea, my finger's right on your spine between your shoulder blades. So you're going to squeeze every time you pull. Elbows come up as a secondary accessory. Shoulders pulling back, that's your primary accessory. Good. Now, let's do 3 in a row. 3, 2, stand tall. Okay, put your tight jeans on again. Oh, right around your waistline. Let's do 1 arm at a time. Pull and lift. So the only set of bent over rows we're going to do today, but certainly not the only thing we'll do for our back. Bum, bum, bum. My friends, can we do 8 more in total? Ready? Pull. I know you may not be able to read my shirt says Eternal Optimist. Gotta try, gotta try. 4 more. Good. Last one. Now, I'm going to tuck one of my dumbbells out of the way. This circle and stick move, I think we did it last week. I know we did it recently. Okay, so feet are wide again. A little momentum, we'll bring that back to circle and then pull down. So come with me. Circle, stick, draw your shoulder blades back. Or this version works really well. Think of it like a lowercase O or maybe an uppercase O. Lisa, you're a teacher. You can get it. You get that analogy. Pull back. Circle, stick. Pull your shoulders back or circle. Shoulders still pull back as you do the reverse curl. Good thing I'm not any taller, or I wouldn't be able to do these exercises in my basement. I'm getting close to hitting the ceiling. I've had people meet me in person after doing things online with me, and they're just like, what? Like, they have this perception, of course, with my low ceiling basement, that I was really tall. Most of you met me in person first, so you know that is not the case. Ready? We have 4 more. Circle, stick, lower. Circle, stick, lower. Last one. Excellent. Okay, so we're done with the 3 different squat variations. Now we're going to do a traditional lunge. You're just grabbing a sip of water. Get some if you need some. Dumbbell can be up here again. One in each hand, one on each shoulder, or of course always none, but especially when we're doing the leg work. So feet hip distance, we'll step back and alternate lunges. Ready? Right leg goes back, drop your knee to the ground. Notice my front knee staying over my ankle. Chest is proud. So your shoulders stack over your hips. Step in and switch. Drop. Step in and switch. So be mindful of your front knee. Press it out slightly towards your pinky toe. Whew. Now, I'm not going to pick up the pace for this one because it's a lot for your brain to think about going backwards. Because I have my camera on, it's like acts like a mirror, so it's sort of, it gives me that visual. But without your camera on, right, you can't see where you're going. So it's good practice for your brain to get used to stepping backwards. You've got little proprioceptors in your body, in your brain, that help your body to know where it is in space, even when you can't see. Whew. 4 more. Oh, I'm starting to really drip with sweat. I don't know about you. Last one. Good. Okay, I gotta look at my notes. What's next? Oh, yeah. Okay. Time for push-ups. So, I want to show you something. I'm going to put my knees down, and some of you may do the same. Maybe you always do, which is fine, but I definitely need to on this one. First of all, my chest is fatigued from the chest press. But I'm going to add a variation, a movement variation to the push-up that you can try, or you can just say, forget it, not for you today, okay? So hands are a little bit wider than your shoulders, and then I want you to roll your arms out. So the crease of your elbow is going to point forward, and really you're going to feel a bit more weight into your pinky finger instead of into your pointer, okay? So a regular push-up, would look like this. It's just a chest press, but we flip it upside down, okay? Now, if you want, you can try to move sideways with me. Or you can go up and down in the center. You pick. They're pretty quick, so you don't have to go at this pace with me. In fact, why don't we all slow it down? Now switch sides. Now you can try to move side to side with your knees off the ground. This works really well for me. Okay, let's do 4 more. Whew. Who's this crazy person that thought of this, doing this? Last one. Oh, so many benefits out of doing a push-up. We're working on our pressing muscles so that we can push ourselves up off the ground. And it's a moving plank, so all that bonus core work happening at the same time. Okay, everybody, you're going to take your dumbbell and make it like a kettlebell. I'm going to show you first with the dumbbell, but I actually have a kettlebell that I'm going to use because this dumbbell is super awkward, even though it's at 15 pounds. So you can hold your dumbbell like that, okay? I'm going to grab my kettlebell. Otherwise, I end up like dinging myself, okay? So legs wide enough that you need your bell to fit between your legs, okay? Now, It's not a deep squat. It's a knee bend. Your hips shift back and then you swing, but it comes from squeezing your tush, kind of pushing your hips forward. So this power from your hip area, that's where a lot of your power comes from, okay? Now, we're not going to worry about going to the beat of the music. You're not going to worry about the number that you do. We're just going to start and stop. In fact, here, I got my stopwatch down here. So we'll go for about, I don't know, like 30-ish seconds. So you get yourselves ready. I'm going to start it, and then I'll grab my kettlebell. Okay, ready? You go. I'm stopping at about shoulder height. If you want to go higher, you can. Just be mindful of your back. I can't go any higher, or I will literally put a hole in my basement ceiling. Actually, maybe we're going to go a little longer than 30 seconds. It's not that long, because we're already at 25. How about 45 seconds? And if you're like, not a chance, then you just stop. That's 30 if you want to stop there. Okay? We're only doing one set of these. 10 seconds to go. 5 seconds to go. Good. Okay, finish off your last rep. So much better with that exercise, just to time it, because everyone kind of goes at their own rhythm. All right. So we have 2 more sequences of movements to get through. The last one is all focused on our core, even though it's been working hard for us already. So grab 1 or 2 dumbbells, 1 more lunge variation, okay? So instead of stepping straight back, you have this choice to cross, come back and switch. So notice I'm keeping my hip bones as forward towards you as I can, because the alternative would look like this. Okay, so I want you to keep your hip bones forward. Let your hip shift side to side, okay? If you want, you are welcome to stay or go back to the reverse lunge. Bum, bum, bum. Good. Keep going. Of course, you might have your dumbbell or dumbbells in a different position than what I'm doing. Sometimes I choose just to use one when possible. In the event that you don't have dumbbells, I can show you what it looks like if you're holding, say, your laundry detergent or, you know, a bag of potatoes or something. Chip. We have 8 more in total. Now, I didn't put an overhead press into this because we're going to need our shoulders to help us with the plank coming up in a bit. 4 more. Good, last 2. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, single leg deadlift. Adding a balance challenge. So we did a bit of that in the warm-up, but we're not going to put the crouch in with it. So 1 dumbbell or 1 hanging. Actually, why don't I show you this? 1 hanging on either side like this, okay? Again, feet about hip distance, knees a little soft. Then we're going to tip and lift 1 leg. You ready? So we slide. My dumbbells are framing either leg. Or if you had 1 in front, it's going to look like that. Ooh, actually, I just thought of something. Now, of course, just like I suggested in the warm-up, you can slide your foot along the floor, right? You don't have to lift it all the way up. You're still balancing and weight-bearing on 1 leg. Okay, who wants to try a little coordination? If you have 2 dumbbells, bring 1 front and then switch. So the leg that goes back is the dumbbell that comes forward. Otherwise, you're going to ding your knee. Little coordination training. sometimes my demonstrations spark a little inspiration. And I appreciate that you all seem to be okay with me kind of trying some things out, doing unusual movements. Okay, everybody, we have 8 more in total. Your heel lifts to the ceiling, and you've got your tight pants on again. Oh my gosh, which reminds me of a song. You got, if you want to look up, everybody's talking about my tight pants. Will Ferrell and Jimmy Fallon. It's absolutely hilarious. Last one. Good. Oh my God, now I'm going to be singing that all day. Everybody's talking about my tight pants. Okay. One more movement with the dumbbell. Oh, potentially you might use it for our bridge. Okay. Woo. So left heel will lift because we swing, stick, stick, swing. Swing, stick. Now your right heel lifts to swing. Swing, stick your feet, your dumbbell moves, but your body is much more solid. Swing, stick, stick. I'll show you from the side. Swing, stick, stick, swing. Stick, stick, swing. Swing, stick, stick, swing. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need a rest day tomorrow, or maybe a yoga day, for sure. Swing, stick, stick, swing. What do you say? Do you have 4 more in you? You want to try it? Notice my arms are slightly bent. They can be a lot bent or not bent at all. Last one here. Good. Okay. Whew, how are we doing? We have time? Okay, we have time to quickly get through these last 3 movements. Whew. Okay, so we're going to start with the plank. Let me get out my trusty stopwatch. I'm going to get my dumbbell out of the way because I'm not going to use it for a bridge. We'll see if we have time to get there. My stuff is flying. So we're going to, okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to time us for a minute. You don't have to do a minute, but I'll tell you. 15 seconds, 30, 45. So maybe you do 30, then you rest for 15 and do the last 15, or maybe you do 45, or so it doesn't matter. It's just a total of 100. Here are your choices. Okay, 100, 60, 1 minute. Wrists are under your shoulders, okay? Knees or toes. The other option is hover, elbows under your shoulders, knees or toes. So it doesn't matter to me. You don't even have to stay in one for the full minute, right? So you can start in one version and then switch. Here we go. Okay, our minute is starting now. But like I said, I'm going to give you intervals or check-in points. Either way, you're going to slide your shoulders down. You're going to put your tight pants on. We're at 15 seconds, okay? Everybody's talking about my tight. You got to look it up. It's so funny. Oh, even my son thinks it's funny. Squeeze your arms and feet towards each other. We are at 30 seconds. So maybe you want to take a little break and then refuel for the last 15 seconds. Your call. Squeeze like an accordion. You're pulling your ribs towards each other. Woo. Shoulders away from your ears. We're at 45 seconds. Bum, bum, bum. Last 10 seconds. A minute is like the max. To be able to hold for a minute is super, super hard. And stop. So don't worry where you're at, right? Where you're at is where you're at. And it's about progress. Now, I mentioned if you wanted, you could have a towel or your scarf or grab your long sleeve or something. So here's what we're doing, okay? Arms out in front. We're going to do a back extension, okay? But if you want, you can grab your towel, okay, and hold it tight. It gives you a little bit more mindfulness through your body. Then we lift, and I'm pressing my toes firmly into the ground. I'm pulling my towel tight. I'm trying to lift my belly button away from the floor. It's not actually coming away from the floor, but I'm thinking about that squeeze. Now keep pulling your towel or your scarf or whatever tight. So notice, I'm not lifting very high. Okay, when you're doing this right, it's a pretty small range of motion, but man, do I feel it. All the little muscles on either side of my spine, especially the lower part. So lift your belly button in towards your spine, so you're really protecting and supporting your lower back. Just 4 more to go. Keep pulling your towel tight. Good, last one, last one. Beautiful. Whew. Now I need my towel to wipe my sweat. Last exercise. We did this one last week, but I love it so much. So we're going to do this version of the bridge again. So you're on your back, head and shoulders stay completely relaxed. Feet underneath their ankles, underneath your knees approximately. But my knees are not together. They're about hip distance apart. Now, if you want, you can put a dumbbell across your hips. I'm going to go without because we'll press and lift. Now, feel free to stay. So you're squeezing tush, hip bones high, toes press into the ground. You can press into your arms, your palms, to help you get a little more height. Stay or come with me and lift and lower and switch. Maybe you lift your heel, keeping your toes on the ground, or lift your foot a little bit. But you're trying to keep your hips up and level with each other. So if you had a dumbbell, you might be holding it like this across your hips. Alrighty, how about 8 more in total? Then we'll have a few minutes to enjoy some stretching. Oh, some reconditioning work. Good. 4 to go. Last one. Oh, good stuff. Okay. Hug your knees into your chest. Let me just change the music. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's 10:14. Okay, we'll just stretch for a few minutes. Sorry if I'm keeping you later. Oh, and then if you need to run, feel free to do a little extra stretching on your own later. Oh, that was a great workout today, everybody. Extend your right leg up. Knee can be bent, but I want your tailbone on the ground. Shoulders as well. You might have to lift to kind of grab your leg and then reset your head and shoulders. Knee bends as you need. Pull. Stretching all through a little bit of your glute, but definitely all the way in your hamstring. If you want to flex your foot, now only grab your toes if it makes sense. If you have to lift your shoulders, then don't worry about grabbing your foot. The letters that I wrote to you. Open your leg out to the side. Let your left leg open to support you. Hey, Lisa, have you been doing this stretch against the wall? That magical stretch. We won't do it right now against the wall because we don't have enough time to get everyone set up. And you deserve more than that.
I forgot about that one. Let's do it.
Yeah, remember the two? Now switch so you bring your leg over towards the other hand. Now we've done this with a towel, but we're not going to grab our towel right now. Try to keep your tailbone down and get a stretch right in through here. And then I've got one more stretch before we change legs. Bring your foot to your opposite leg. Stay, lift, or pull. I probably shouldn't play this song actually. We are all sick of home, right? Let me go away from home. My son today is like, we haven't done a trip in a long time. I'm like, yes, I know. I mean, he's 13. He knows why we haven't done a trip. Like, we want to do a trip. Switch legs. Oh, he's been watching this show on YouTube that it's about Bondi Beach in Australia, and it's all like it's almost like a Baywatch kind of show, but real, like real things happening on the beach with the lifeguards. So he's like, "Can we go to Australia? You know, maybe when I finish grade 8." I'm like, "That's soon, bud. We're not going to Australia." Like, it's like maybe when I finish high school. Okay, maybe when you finish high school, open up. Like by then, you're gonna want to go without your mom and dad. There you go home. Okay, I better be quick because I might get booted out of this Zoom link. Shift your leg over to the other side so you get the kind of quote unquote outer side of your leg. Well, you don't have anywhere to commute, so it's okay. Hopefully that I'm keeping you an extra minute or two. Okay. Baby, I don't want to go home. Now use some momentum. Use a little momentum with your bottom leg. Swing yourself up. Let's do one more stretch. So lift, bring your left hand around to your right leg. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, draw your belly in again and rotate around. Now switch sides. Inhale, scoop, exhale. I know, you know, we will. Good, take one big breath. Exhale and set your shoulders. Okay, sorry. I know I kept you a few extra minutes. You can ask if you can get some extra added to your virtual training. Thank you so much. Let me just stop this recording.